Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror film, Love Spell, The Black Wedding. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins in a church with a rainy and dark atmosphere. The bride, named Zhenya, is wearing a dark gown as she walks down the aisle. The attendees of the wedding are unmoving sculptures. On the other side of the aisle, her groom, Kerr, awaits her. The scene then moves back to the time when Zhenya is doing her work as a wedding gown tailor. She is talking to her client, Sonia, who is about to get married. She lets Sonia try her newly made wedding gown. Sonia shows the church where she will get married. Just then, Sonia's groom, named Vic, arrives to check on her. Sonia then says that it is bad luck to let her groom see her. Zhenya's baby suddenly cries while she is working, so Vic babysits her baby for a while. That night, Zhenya calls Kerr, her current artist boyfriend, but he no longer responds to her. She then comes to Kerr's place to talk to him. Unfortunately, Kerr is having an affair with another woman, leaving Zhenya devastated. At the same time, Kerr gets angry with her for coming there. The following day, Zhenya is being tearful at her work as she thinks about Kerr's affair. Her boss advises her to forget about it and accepts Kerr again. She says that Kerr will love Zhenya again after that. That night, Zhenya comes to her mother with her baby. Zhenya says that she is willing to forgive Kerr, since she does not want her baby to grow up without a father. Her mother says that she cannot force someone to love her unless she casts a love spell. The next day, she tells Kerr that he can continue his affair while they are in a relationship, but Kerr insists that he does not want to have a relationship with her anymore. Out of desperation to get Kerr back, Zhenya visits a gypsy to ask for a love spell. The gypsy asks her if she truly wants to be with Kerr forever. She affirms, so the gypsy begins instructing her how to cast the Black Wedding love spell. The gypsy says that it requires to be cast during a marriage of people who truly love each other, since the spirits want to feed on true feelings. At the same time, the love spell requires Zhenya's love to be genuine. The gypsy cuts Zhenya's hands and puts meat on the wound because blood would make the love spell stronger. She then leaves with the love spell tools. Zhenya secretly comes to Sonia's wedding. As the wedding takes place, Zhenya begins casting the love spell. She intertwines the two candles as she utters the prayer. The gypsy is also uttering the prayer from her house. Zhenya declares that she is placing her soul on the first candle and Kerr's soul on the second candle. In that way, the spirit will intertwine both of them. Zhenya then lights up the candle to make Kerr love her forever. She drops her blood onto a cloth and lights it up with a candle. She then eats the meat given by the gypsy. After Zhenya casts the love spell, Sonia's nose suddenly bleeds. After the wedding, Zhenya walks outside as she suffers from stomach pain. She then passes out and Vic comes to the rescue, bringing her to the hospital. Apparently, Vic is a doctor, so he proceeds to treat Zhenya. He finds out that she is suffering from an infection. Meanwhile, Sonia is waiting outside the hospital room with her old lover. Sonia thinks that her wedding was bad luck. After some time, Vic checks Zhenya, and she is now in a better condition. He then searches for Sonia, but he catches her having a sneaky intimate moment with her old lover. She then rushes to Vic to apologize. She says that she has no idea how it just happened, but Vic ignores her out of anger and storms off. Possibly, the love spell also curses Sonia and Vic's relationship. At night, Kerr visits Zhenya in the hospital. He apologizes for his misdeeds and miraculously declares that he loves her again. This means that the love spell worked and already took effect on Kerr. After that, he brings her back to his home. There, they share a romantic moment as a form of reunion. The following day, Zhenya wakes up happy, as Kerr is still there for her. He appears to be extremely devoted to her. He tells her that she is beautiful, so he needs to draw her on the canvas. Zhenya suddenly receives a call from her mother. Her mother's house gets damaged by the storm, so they need to help her fix it. Kerr appears jealous, as he wants all of her time. They eventually arrive at the house of Zhenya's mother. Kerr puts a remedy to the broken window. Zhenya offers her mother to stay with them for a while. Zhenya gets her baby, and Kerr tells her mother that she will bother them. Later, Kerr creates a sculpture by looking at Zhenya. It appears that Zhenya now serves as his inspiration for creating art. She needs to work, but Kerr prevents her, as he wants her to be with him all the time. He then creates a mask using the figure of her face. As they are enjoying the moment together, their baby suddenly cries. So Kerr gets annoyed and simply puts the fat baby away. The next day, Zhenya comes to work. Sonia returns the gown to ask for a refund. Zhenya apologizes for ruining her wedding, but she just ignores her and leaves. Zhenya calls the gypsy to inform her about the failed marriage. However, she only hears a demonic voice speaking. She then suddenly hears whispers behind the dresses, so she slowly walks to check it. The ghost bride shows itself to her, making her scared. Later, Zhenya comes home, and her baby is nowhere to be found. She rushes to Kerr's place, and she finds her baby unattended while crawling on the dirty floor. Jenya scolds Kerr for leaving their baby alone. He then complains that she's always leaving. He says she is his wife, so she must be there for him. Jenya says that she is not his wife, so he gets angry. She gets scared at his action, so he immediately apologizes. The next day, Jenya receives a call from Kerr while she is working. He says that her mother takes their baby, so he asks her to have lunch with him, but she refuses it, saying she is busy at work. Later, Vic arrives to return the refunded money for the wedding gown. Jenya asks him about the cause of their marriage failure. Vic says that Sonia committed a mistake. Vic suddenly holds her hand, saying he admires her passion for work. Vic leaves for a while, and a ghostly hand holds her briefly. She then feels pain, and Vic responds to her. Vic brings her to his car to drive her home. Apparently, Kerr is waiting outside, so he sees both of them. He gets angry and immediately punches Vic, but Vic manages to restrain him. Jenya then explains that Vic only wants to bring her home. Vic gets some gauge and offers some to Kerr. After that, Kerr apologizes and drives Jenya back to her mother's house to get their baby. However, Kerr brings her to his parents' house so they can have dinner. Apparently, Kerr's parents hate her. Kerr informs his parents that he wants to marry her. He then asks for the heir's ring, but his mother refuses to give it as she doesn't support his relationship with Jenya. In response, he cuts his mother's finger to forcefully get the ring. His father tries to defend himself, so he also beats up his father. He then proposes to Jenya, while she is completely scared at his action. Then the father pushes Kerr away to allow Jenya to run away. She runs away, but Kerr says he is holding their baby, so she joins Kerr in driving back to his home. She gets her baby and decides to leave, but Kerr prevents her from leaving as he utters that he truly loves her. She then reveals to him that she has cast a spell on him. She tries to run away, but Kerr puts her asleep. After some time, she wakes up in a bathtub filled with paint. She then sees Kerr putting paint on their baby. She stands up and hides. Kerr looks for her, and she appears behind him. She proceeds to smash his head, leaving him stunned. She then grabs their baby and immediately runs to the road. She stops a car and asks for help from the driver. Fortunately, the driver gives her a ride, but in a few moments, Kerr manages to catch up with them. He keeps knocking on the car, so the driver speeds it up. However, he still manages to chase them, so the driver suddenly turns into the right road. They finally manage to escape from him. After that, Jenny goes to Vic's house. She takes off the sculpture paint out of her body, while Vic babysits her baby. The next day, Jenny wakes up and finds Vic preparing to leave for work. Apparently, he had already bought Jenya's medicine and her baby's needs. As he is about to leave, he advises Jenya to rest for a while. At work, Sonia attempts to approach Vic, but he appears to be cold towards her, so he simply ignores her. He rides the elevator, and the other doctors have a dead body with them. He checks it, and it turns out to be Kerr. It turns out Kerr died last night in a motorcycle accident while chasing Jenya. Later, Jenya wakes up and she senses a figure lurking around. Kerr then shows up and the door suddenly closes. She opens it, but Kerr is nowhere to be found. She gets completely scared because of it. Vic arrives, and she informs him that she sees Kerr. Vic then reveals to her that Kerr is already dead, and she has nothing to be worried about. To confirm it, she comes to the morgue to check his body. She then sees Kerr's face get injured by the accident. She gets tearful, and Vic is there to comfort her. She spends time alone with Kerr's dead body, but Kerr suddenly holds her tightly and grabs her. After that, he locks her inside the body container. She screams for help, but luckily, she manages to escape. She then comes to the restroom and finds her wounds are still not healing. Later, Jenya says to Vic that she needs to leave. However, her stomach suddenly hurts again. Vic comes to comfort her with his muscles. Sonia arrives and she witnesses it, thinking that Jenya is flirting with Vic. After that, Jenya leaves her baby with her mother, so she can fix the love spell mistake. Apparently, she regrets its bad effects. She informs Vic about the love spell and asks him to visit the gypsy. They visit the gypsy together. She asks the gypsy for a way to remove the love spell. The gypsy reveals that the spell summoned a strong demon, so Jenya's wish can be granted. But Jenya tricked the demon, since her love for Kerr is not genuine. So the gypsy says they can talk to the demon through Vic. Apparently, the gypsy knows that Vic has a hormone feeling toward Jenya. So Vic willingly helps Jenya to stop the spell. The gypsy begins the ritual using his blood and proceeds to utter the prayer. In a few moments, the demon shows up and enters Vic's body. The demon then reveals that it is seeking to get Jenya's soul since she promised to give it to the demon. In a few moments, the demon smashes the window through Vic's body. It grabs the sharp glass piece and attempts to kill Jenya using it. Fortunately, the gypsy's mother, called Psychic, arrives to cast the demon away from Vic's body. After that, Vic wakes up and returns to a normal state. Psychic declares that Jenya's soul already belongs to the demon, Psychic informs her that the only way to remove the spell is to perform the ritual in reverse order. But while the ritual is being performed, Sonia and Vic are required to be there since Vic has a genuine love for Zhenya. Later, Vic says that Zhenya ruined his wedding and she is responsible for Kerr's death, so he leaves Zhenya alone to fix her mistakes. Zhenya decides to go back to the wedding church, while Vic goes to Sonia in the hospital. He then says to Sonia that they do not truly love each other and they marry each other out of external pressure. After that, he convinces Sonia to help Zhenya remove the spell, but she refuses to do so and proceeds to leave. As she opens the door, Kerr's ghost shows up, making her completely scared. So this time she decides to help remove the spell. Meanwhile, in the church, Zhenya is preparing for the ritual. There, she sees the figure of the priest. She goes to check it, but there is no one. A hand suddenly holds her, and the demon slowly suffocates her. She crawls to the ground, trying to gasp for breath. Psychic arrives to help her. Psychic then casts the demon out of her body. Sonia and her 2 men arrive at the church for the removal of the spell. Psychic and Zhenya begin the performance of the ritual. Zhenya separates the intertwined candles and declares for the demon to release her soul. Just then, she suffers from stomach pain. She then floats into the air. Meanwhile, her mother finds the nail in the repaired window has been removed. She checks the baby, but it is nowhere to be found. The window opens up and Kerr enters. Back to the church, the demon-possessed Sonia blows the candle and instantly jumps to choke Vic. Psychic fights it with her magic staff. However, the demon simply breaks the magic staff in half and goes to stab Psychic. Vic and the man restrain the demon, while Psychic stands up to declare a prayer. It leaves Sonia's body, allowing her to return to a normal state. She informs Zhenya that her baby is currently missing. Vic and Zhenya drive back to Psychic's house. There, she finds a mask, so she believes that her baby is in Kerr's house. So they drive towards the house, only to find creepy sculptures around. Vic checks the figure in the middle, and he figures out that it is Zhenya's mother. She is nailed down on the floor and is unable to move. Zhenya hears her baby crying, so she attends to it first. Vic goes to remove the nail from the mother's feet, but it turns out that the figure is zombie Kerr and not Zhenya's mother. Zhenya finds her mother and her baby hiding. They rush to escape out of the house. Meanwhile, Kerr throws Vic away to the ground. Vic gets a knife and stabs him. Vic repeatedly smashes Kerr's head, but he remains unmoved. In response, Kerr slowly chokes him. Zhenya arrives back and decides to continue the Pact of Love spell. In that way, the love spell will stop affecting other people. She kisses Vic and tells him everything will be okay. She slowly dips into the pain of the bathtub as she thinks of her ideal life with her baby. She continues to put herself under the paint. After that, she is now walking to her black wedding with Kerr. In the end, they get reunited, and they will be together there forever. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.